Hello, viewers. Today we have with us Mrs. Richa Khandelwal Bhatt. She is a managing director of Narayana's Art Nirbhar Bharat Foundation, and she is a well-known entrepreneur and one of the close friend of mine. Today we are going to discover her journey as a social entrepreneur and what is doing in her social enterprise. Welcome, Richa, for this interview series. I thank you again for accepting our invitation and being part of this series. First of all, I would like you to share your journey as a social entrepreneur and why you have selected particular or what made you to select a particular model as a business here. If you can share your journey from where you started and why you started, that would be really grateful for us.
Thank you, Nidish, for the opportunity to speak at such a lovely platform, and I thank you for the question.
Yeah.
So my journey as an entrepreneur started when I was in New York,
Oh,
actually
okay.
in Canada. I lived for 7 years in New York and Canada, and there I was not able to very easily find work. The
Oh,
initial first year, it was very hard. Nobody would even respond to my interview
okay.
request. Nobody
Okay.
would even like I would spend the whole day checking my mail, refreshing my
Oh,
mailbox,
okay. Okay.
and my whole 1 year went doing that.
Oh,
So I realized the pain of not having work to do.
huh.
I was ready to work without being paid. It was not about money, but
Okay.
the opportunity to belong somewhere, the opportunity to do some work. I
Oh,
didn't
oh,
get that first 1 year. And that was when I was a very well known anchor in India. I was a television anchor. I was doing really well.
okay.
And here I was having no work. And that
Oh,
helped me realize what it means to have work in your hands and belong to some community of people who do the same kind of work.
okay.
So that time I started my career as an entrepreneur. That's time my entrepreneurial journey started as Keshava Productions came into being. And I realized that I wanted to be an entrepreneur and not wait for opportunities to come knock.
Okay.
So after working for a few years in India, when we came back to India in 2012, and we started working on Keshava Productions from 2000 almost for 15.
Oh,
And then after working for a few years, I realized that there was something more I wanted to do,
okay.
not just commercial projects. It was not enough for me.
Okay.
And, and we were constantly realizing that I was working as a social entrepreneur in a commercial organization.
Oh,
It was kind
okay.
of, I would really help people get jobs. I would
Okay.
really go out of my way to groom people and train people.
Okay.
And I would be overly, outgoing to help people, enable people, and so on.
Huh.
And a lot of times that would go against the logic of commercial business sense.
Okay.
And that's when I think my family realized that you're mixing the work of an NGO
Okay.
or a social enterprise into a commercial enterprise. And
Okay.
and and meanwhile, what was happening was that I had a chance to go to Badrinath in Uttarakhand, and I met a lot of artists there.
Okay.
The story about that is very interesting, and I want you all to
Please.
listen to that later
Please.
in the
Please.
later session, maybe not immediately. So just the fact that one trip to Badrinath
Huh.
and about 15 minutes of time with a very well-known singer there. His name is Mr. Vipul Mehta. So with him,
Okay.
he's a guitarist and he was just
Okay.
sitting at the temple, and I found it very fascinating that, hey, look at this really cool person who's sitting
Hmm.
here in the temple, in such an ancient temple, and he's playing a guitar.
Hmm.
And I said, hey, this is really cool. And
Okay.
I told him, hey, we should jam. We should jam, and we jammed, and we just felt that, hey, this is something interesting. So then
Okay.
we were connected, and then later I found through his friends and so on
Hmm.
that there were a huge number of artists in Badrinath.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the remotest places in India.
Yeah.
It's almost the border.
Yeah.
That got me to start to care about these people who became my friends.
Oh,
And I
okay.
first thing I did was I tried to create a band with them. And
Okay.
that led me to realize, oh my God, they have no proper source of income. And then it just kind of led me to start feeling for their pains.
Huh.
And that's when I think my transformation into becoming a social entrepreneur happened.
Okay.
And that.
Oh, okay, okay. Now, when you say about when you talk about social entrepreneurship, How do you define a social entrepreneurship? I would like to hear from your point of view, actually.
Yeah. I think so. I want to answer this question by stating that I come from the family. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. I come
Okay.
from a business family in Delhi,
Huh.
and entrepreneurship, social service.
Huh.
These two things are like they run in our bloodstream. Like
Okay.
you have to be entrepreneurial and you have to do something for the society. But
Society.
from
Okay.
what I have experienced, my family's, what I've seen my family do so far, I think that the whole idea of business and entrepreneurship and social work have been kept
Hmm.
separate. So business is separate, social work is separate. You do not mix the two.
Mix it. Yeah. Yeah.
Every time I mixed it, it was like frowned upon. Why
Okay.
are you doing this? Why are you going against business sense? And why are you bringing in social activity or social service into business?
Okay.
From there on, and once I was really going through a very confusing time because I just did not know what to do because I constantly wanted to bridge the gap between the two.
Huh.
There was a time that with a friend I went to IIM Bangalore
Hmm.
in a conclave organized by I think I think it was organized by IIM. So I'd gone to an event at IIM Bangalore,
Hmm.
and there I realized, oh my God, there is something called as social entrepreneurship,
Hmm.
which is quite an in thing. And there are a lot of people in the country who are understanding the value of working in an entrepreneurial structure
Hmm.
for not just yourself, but for the whole world,
All
for the
right.
whole
Yeah.
community. And that to me is social entrepreneurship. That
Okay.
to me is working for not just yourself, but for others, because that is
Hmm.
what I was constantly trying to do.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
think for me, social entrepreneurship means one, it means working clearly for a greater goal than just a commercial outcome of profit. Number
Okay.
two, the social entrepreneurship model must have an impact that should be felt in the deeper corners of wherever, whichever geographical area we are
Okay.
working in, to touch those people that will never benefit from that commercial enterprise that we otherwise work on. And two, a social entrepreneurship has the word entrepreneurship
Ship. Yes. Yes.
embedded in that, which means that it's not a charity organization,
Hmm.
which is what excites me most about my company, which is Narayana's Atmanirbhar Bharat Foundation.
Foundation. Yeah.
We're not an organization that depends on charity. We provide, I mean, we welcome charity,
Yeah.
but we provide a service or a product in return for any kind of support that our cause gets, and
Yes.
that gets sort of circulated in the business as initial capital, if you may
Hmm.
call it. This
Oh.
is what social work.
Okay. Okay. That's wonderful to know. Can you tell about the social venture you're running? What is doing and when you started? This kind of detail. Can you share, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
So my company is known as Narayana's Atmanirbhar Bharat Foundation,
Yeah.
and I'm very proud to call it a company, although it's a Section 8 NGO, but it's
Okay.
a company that is working as a social entrepreneurship venture.
Hmm.
And it started at that time when I mentioned that I had gone to Badrinath. I met these
Yeah.
artists there, and that led me to thinking that, oh my God, there's life beyond the
Yeah.
cities.
Hmm.
I'm from Bangalore and from Delhi. So
Yeah.
I've been all over the world, and I said, yeah, this is something I've never seen before.
Okay.
And I'm always, I was a journalist at the starting of my career, and I felt every time I see something new or something I have not seen before, a realm that I have not seen, I just get fascinated. Like Alice in
Okay.
Wonderland. People are like, oh my God, look at all these artists here. They're so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
They're so nice and they're so full of capability. I mean, they're so capable and full of potential to
Hmm.
achieve great heights,
Yeah.
but they are not earning enough.
Yeah.
And for me, as an entrepreneur, that was a very big challenge, and it
Hmm.
was a very personal challenge because I
Oh.
felt that I could not just sit quiet and just keep working on my commercial enterprise anymore. I had
Hmm.
to do something. So I
Yeah.
created this thing called as Narayana's Himalayan Artsy Crew.
Himalayan.
Any the Narayana's Himalayan Artsy Crew, the
Oh.
Himalayan Artsy Crew.
Okay.
So we kind of created a WhatsApp group and through
Oh.
Facebook,
Okay.
WhatsApp. we all just kind of exchanged ideas. I had this wonderful set of friends like Vipul Mehta,
Oh,
Anshuman Bhandari, and Bhumesh Pawar,
mm,
Shubham Dimri. And, I had these wonderful friends who helped me to create Narayana's as it's the first sort of the seed was sown as Narayana's, the Himalayan Artsy crew. And,
okay.
and somebody was a filmmaker, somebody was a dancer,
Mm.
somebody was a writer, somebody was a singer, somebody was something. And we
Oh,
thought that, hey, you know what, we are a group now, so we created some music videos and so on, but it
okay.
was still not leading to any funds, any money. There was nothing,
Mm,
no
okay.
commercial activity happening, and I felt, hey, how long can I sustain it? It's
Yeah.
like that Summer of 69 band, like that song Summer of 69. The band never grows, very
Yeah.
sustain very long. So it was pretty much what I was going through.
Oh,
and
okay.
and then last year when COVID happened,
Mm,
I got a call from one of our friends,
mm,
their parents actually, and they said that, look, the Badrinath Chardham Yatra is not happening right now. We don't know
okay.
how to earn any money this year,
Mm,
because in the remotest areas, in this tourist place, which is really like, driven by religious tourism, their
yeah.
entire life revolves around religious tourists coming and going, and they don't have
Yes.
a plan B. They
Yeah.
have no idea how to sustain life without the yatris coming in.
Yes.
So they're asking, what do we do then? So I said, okay. So they asked for help actually. I said, well, you know what? I don't believe in like helping like that. I think we should get into an entrepreneurial model. So
Okay.
you know what? With the help of my friends,
Mm,
a nice gentleman called Jatin Mendiratai in Delhi, I created one poster.
okay.
That poster costed some 700 rupees. And with that poster, we created an entrepreneurial model that
Okay.
people could order Tulsi Mala at 250 rupees per mala, and the money will go to the people of the village of
Okay.
Badrinath.
Okay.
And you know that with that model, we had mala orders from Germany, from
Oh,
Switzerland,
wow.
from Spain,
Okay.
from the US, from Bangalore, from Chennai, from Gujarat, from the whole country. And 2 months we were able to sustain three families, and we were able to raise about 65,000 rupees
Wow. Okay. That's a good
for
amount of.
them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for three families in the village, it's a lot of money. It's
Yeah.
fine. So that was like an eye opener for me, because all
Okay.
this while I was trying to make music and get these artsy thing going. But I think, well, you know what? There is a reason FMCG business does so well, because it makes endorsement, it democratizes endorsement of a product or service.
Product. Yeah.
When you have a product or a service that people can buy,
Hmm.
and there's a clear exchange, then it becomes scalable. And I think
Scalable.
with scalability is the success of any business.
Okay.
And here there was a business model that scaled up like this beyond my imagination,
Okay.
and it worked. So again, now this year, so then we realized, hey, to be doing it properly and to do it in a nicer way,
Hmm.
in a more authentic and in a more responsible way, we'll have to register this company, and then we made a company,
Okay.
Narayana's Art Nirbhar Bharat
Fine.
Foundation.
Okay. Just, I'm curious to know why you kept your social ventures name as Narayana's Art Nirbhar Bharat Foundation. Is there any particular story or reason behind that name actually?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So there are several parts of our company's name. Narayana's Art Nirbhar Bharat
Yeah.
Foundation.
Yeah.
So how the name came about was that Narayana's because of three reasons. Because
Hmm.
this is coming from Badri Narayan, right? It's
Yeah.
coming from Badrinath,
Hmm.
and they say that Badrinath is, according to Shastras, that is one place where God is still there.
Yeah.
Narayan is still there. So I have this really major bhakti and also curiosity towards
Okay.
Badrinath, and I just feel very drawn to that place. You won't believe I've left my green card. I made my family live there,
Wow.
give up the green card, and come back to India for the sake of being close to the Himalayas, to be close to Ganga and to be close to Badrinath,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that means a lot to me. So we kept the name Narayanas, and that was one thing, and that was kind of the team's decision, sort of,
Okay.
to call it Narayanas, and then Narayanas was Narayanas Himalayan Artsy Crew. So when we realized that, well, it's not just the Himalayas or Uttarakhand that need help; artists all over the country need our support.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we sort of decided to have Bharat in it. And
Okay.
Art Nirbhar was very interesting. A lot of people tell me Art Nirbhar is interesting.
Yeah.
Atmanirbhar, of course, has become a fad.
Yes.
There was a
Yes.
time that I ideate a lot by putting papers on the wall of my office room
Hmm.
in the office rooms. I put colored paper on the wall. I stick
Oh,
them all over, and
okay.
then I connect the dots. So I just put different words that inspire me about that certain subject,
Huh.
and then one day I was doing all this, and I was just having all these papers, and all of a sudden I had all these words and all these things I wanted to do. I don't know from where this inspiration came. Art Nirbhar.
Okay.
So when
Oh.
I was finding out the purpose of this organization, Narayana's.
Huh.
I I thought, what could it be? Are we doing this? Are we doing that? Is it what
Hmm.
we are intending to do? And when I was ideating that, I just don't know from where this word came, Art Nirbhar.
Art
And I
Nirbhar.
wrote
Okay.
it on a piece of paper,
Hmm.
and Art Nirbhar has become a thing. So
Okay.
Narayana Art Nirbhar Bharat, and then we just kind of thought about what would be the right word for it,
Right. Right.
and then foundation. So this is what it
Okay.
is. But Narayana's, because of these reasons, Badrinath,
Yeah.
and and I'm a
Hmm.
devotee of Lord Narayan, and
Yeah.
everything I do, I say Narayana iti samarpayami.
Huh. Right.
And the third thing is that my grandfather, who was a very well known and a very well respected entrepreneur and a social worker around the country, he gave
Hmm.
work to lakhs of people.
Okay.
His name was Sri Jay Narayan Khandelwal Methi.
Oh, okay, okay.
This
So,
is
so you
I'm
have, yeah, okay. So now I can connect the dot. I can connect the dot actually. Okay, that's fantastic. You started this social enterprise in which year? In 2016 or
this last, like, it's
last year?
just a baby. Like, it's 2020 December we got
20 days.
started. This
Oh,
Now we're still making the bank account. It's just a very
back,
new
new.
organization. Although the work has already started and lots is going on.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, how many you support artisans, right? And you give a platform for to showcase their talents and all those things you do. On an average, till now, how many artisans you have supported from your through your social enterprise?
So what we do first, so this question has two parts. So I'll answer the first part,
Yeah.
which is what
Okay.
is it that we do really. So in
Huh.
Narayana Art Nirbhar Bharat Foundation, the purpose of this organization is to help artists
Hmm.
all over the country, specifically in the rural areas
Okay.
and in the smaller towns,
Okay.
to become financially self reliant
Hmm.
by tapping into their art form.
Okay.
So, financial self reliance for the artistic
Artist.
community.
Okay.
And the artist could be a singer, could be a dancer, could be a
Hmm.
visual artist, could be a theater artist,
Okay.
could be a writer, a poet, a filmmaker, a photographer, somebody who does handicrafts.
Okay.
So, we do not limit the definition of artist, but an artistic community needs to be given this platform where they
Hmm.
can respectively
Yeah.
earn from their art form.
Okay. Okay.
So the sad part is that I'm a television producer, but I'm telling you that by profession, that's what I do. But I'm telling you that these shows, reality shows that
Yeah.
literally use the stories of these rural artists, and after the show is done, how many people are really
Yeah.
caring about those artists?
True. True.
What do you know? What happens to those artists? You know how many people who come on these reality shows and get instant fame are not having food to eat now.
Yeah.
They have depression, they suffer from depression, they have all
Yeah.
kinds of emotional problems because they suddenly shot to fame and now they
Yeah.
are left into oblivion. Nobody gives a damn about them.
Yeah. True.
So I want to change that, and I want to really truly give respect to the artists
Mm.
and also help them to find a platform where they can sustain themselves.
Sustaining. Okay.
Monthly, they should be able to at least earn a basic amount to be able to feed themselves and their
Yeah.
families.
Yeah.
It should become a valid career to
Correct.
be a musician or a dancer.
Yeah.
I think that's the journey we need to take. So that is one part of
Yeah.
the question.
Yeah.
The second part of the question is your question on how many artists we have
Yeah.
supported so far.
Yeah.
We have supported, I will not be able to give the number because what we are doing, so we've supported artists like singers, we have supported dancers, We have supported handicrafts artists. We have
Okay.
supported writers,
Hmm.
filmmakers, photographers. And I'll give you some examples on how what we are doing is having a spiral effect. It's having like
Oh,
a spiral effect, and it's kind of literally becoming a transformative rural economy. I would say a phenomenon, so to say. Like
okay.
how the Renaissance happened, and you cannot say how many artists did Renaissance give birth to.
Okay. Okay.
The
Okay.
Renaissance movement in the in Europe,
Yeah.
you can't ask how many artists did Renaissance create. I think Narayana's is like Renaissance. It's the
Okay.
Indian Renaissance for rural artists. It
Artists.
is
Okay.
leading to artists. It is leading to people understanding their value as artists and understanding the value of the art in them.
Art in them. Okay.
And
Okay.
that is what is our contribution, first of all. We are
Hmm.
making people respected for
Okay.
their art by giving a proper structure
Hmm.
to the art entrepreneurship. So I think as the Renaissance movement in Europe, that kind of had a wider impact that
Hmm.
lasted over generations. I think what we are doing here at Narayana's is going to be something similar.
Oh,
The
okay.
renaissance
Nice.
of the
Art.
artists in India, right? Because
Okay.
yeah, because in perspective, in the broader view, if you look at what we're doing, is bringing art to the same stature as any other profession could be:
Hmm.
engineering,
Yeah.
or teaching,
Yeah.
or working in a government job, or working in a factory. What do you look for when you go for a job? You look for stability,
Hmm.
you look for regular income, you look for respect, you look for a discipline or a
Definitely.
definitiveness
Yeah.
that yes, tomorrow you will have food on your plate.
Okay.
And
Okay.
by enabling artists to be art nirbhar, we are providing all of that and more, and job satisfaction,
Yeah.
which is at the highest,
Yes.
right? Because you're doing what you love to do. Artists cannot be forced or caged in a
True.
regular 9 to 5 job. I've
True.
tried to do that. I'm a dancer myself, I'm a filmmaker, writer, and I cannot do what my heart is not in. It's
Oh, yeah.
suffocating for me.
Okay. Okay.
So I think we are a platform for artists, and
Ah.
I think that instead of putting a number to how many artists we have supported, I would say wait and watch.
Okay. That's
Just
perfect. Okay.
wait and watch. Narayana's is going to be a phenomenon that is going to be lasting over generations. It's going to
Okay.
be there long after I'm gone. After, I mean, it's going to be there. It's going to stay, and I'm going to make sure it does.
Oh, that's perfect. Actually. Yeah. Uh, what is your future vision for your social enterprise? Where do you see Narayana's Art Nirbhar Bharat Foundation by 2030? Another, say, 9 years or 10 years, 8 years. Where do you see actually?
Okay, that's okay. Let me try and answer that question.
Yeah.
So Narayana's after 9 or 10 years
Yeah.
would be an organization that would work very closely with the government, with the corporate world, with the HNIs, with the business community, with schools and colleges, with all kinds of institutions,
Okay.
with the global community of artists and art educators.
Okay.
Narayanas would be in every state,
Hmm.
in a lot of, like, in thousands and thousands of villages around the country.
Okay.
It would have impacted lakhs of artists. It would have made careers of lakhs and lakhs of artists from all different fields.
Hmm.
It would have given work to paid work to and regular paid work,
Okay.
valid regular paid work, to lakhs of artists around the country.
Okay.
And it would also bring the NRI community to this cause.
Hmm.
And Narayanas would be grooming artists of tomorrow. This is what Narayanas would be. Narayanas would be a very, very strong organization, almost like, I think, if I may take that name, I think it would be as strong as UNICEF is. it would be
Oh,
as respected
okay.
and
So big
as
dream. Okay.
strong. And
It's a big dream.
yes, it's not just a dream. It's not a dream.
Okay.
It's a mission.
Mission.
It's
Okay.
not a dream.
Okay.
It's a mission. It's a
Mission.
vision. It's what's going to happen. I
Okay.
told you some time back that I'm not making Narayanas.
Yeah. 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 True.
Narayanas is using me to make it self.
Success. Yeah, that is true. Okay. Yeah. The last question. What is your suggestion for future budding entrepreneurs? What do you would like to say? If you can share your perspectives or some key words so that they can imbibe them in their journey and grow. That would be very helpful.
I think when I'm answering that question, I'm going to answer from not only my journey as an entrepreneur and a social entrepreneur, but also as a new social entrepreneur,
Yeah.
but also because of the lessons I've learned at IIM Bangalore, where
Okay.
I've recently done a course
Hmm.
in business. I would like to say from that perspective, and coming from
Okay.
a family of entrepreneurs, I think I think that whatever we want to do,
Hmm.
whether it's social entrepreneurship or it's regular entrepreneurship where profit is the only purpose, I think that we need to be very, very clear
Clear.
about what
Hmm.
is it that we want to do.
Hmm. Okay.
It's almost like I'm a filmmaker also by profession. So when we start to make a film, there's a reason we want to make that film.
Yeah.
It causes something in our heart. It makes us not be able to sleep in the night. Oh my God, I have to do this.
Yeah.
We need to be really clear about that reason why we take up that project, because
Hmm.
entrepreneurship, my friends, is not a cakewalk. It's a very difficult journey, and I wish you all
Yes.
the best. And I hope yours is easier than mine has been. But it's not an easy job to
Yeah.
be an entrepreneur. And before you start, you need to figure out, why are you doing this?
Hmm.
You need to do a SWOT analysis
Hmm.
of yourself,
Yeah.
and you need to do a SWOT analysis of your business model.
Hmm.
And I think that one thing I've really learned is to not be attached to your business model.
Okay. Okay.
You should
Interesting.
look at your business model very objectively from far away.
Yeah.
You can be attached to the cause that you, or the change you want to make, the end
Hmm.
result of what you want to achieve, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's a smart idea to be attached to the way you get there.
Written.
Because
Okay.
if you do that, oh, this is my solution for my problem that I want to address,
Yeah.
and then you're stuck with that, and you're never going to be able to come out of that or be experimental or challenge yourself or question yourself.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Nidish, in my company, Keshava Productions Private Limited, which is my for-profit company, it's a production company,
Yeah.
we have actually grown during the COVID time because
Hmm.
we were not stuck to what we wanted to do.
Okay.
Our primary business was completely, it was smashed down, but we
Okay.
had prepared for plan B.
Okay.
We had thought through, what are we going to do next, and that was the time to take a leap into the world of web series, television
Yeah.
shows, film. And now
Oh.
we are doing so much scripting, and we have really scaled up, and we are doing wonders.
Oh, that's
And
fantastic.
yeah, it's really cool. And then
Yeah.
with Narayan, it's also the same thing. We have so many clear ideas on what can we do,
Yeah.
because first we are taking up 2 to 3 revenue streams.
Hmm.
If those don't work, we will definitely try the next
Next.
one
Oh.
or two. Yeah.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
one thing. And the last thing is that, guys, your business is going to consume a lot of your life. It's going to be a huge thing in your life.
Hmm.
And I really want to tell everyone, men, women, youngsters, and nowadays even kids who are
Yeah.
entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
to please never forget yourself when
Okay.
you start your business. We get
Wow.
into this really obsessive compulsion to do well,
Hmm.
prove it, get into this unicorn mode and get this funding and prove. Trust me, outside of your own brain, there are very few people who actually will care if you are, for whatever reason, suffering tomorrow.
Wow.
Trust me. Look at the stories of the biggest billionaires. I don't want to name
Hmm.
the show.
Yeah.
Look at those stories. Please do not forget yourself, care for
Hmm.
yourself, your health. your family, and all of that. And within those boundaries that life has given you, operate and do your business in a joyful, happy environment. Because if you're happy, you'll make the world a happier place, you'll make your colleagues happy people, and you'll make a major impact
Okay.
than just by being too driven by profit and targets and all of that. So have a great time, have a
Yeah.
great journey, and I
Yeah.
hope to connect with all the viewers somehow, Nitish, through you.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy to have spoken here.
Wow, that's wonderful to know about your view on entrepreneurship. Viewers, with this note, we are coming to end of this interview. I thank again Richa Khandelwal Bhatt for accepting our invitation and being part of this interview.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.